part of our YourLiveEvent.com coaches show is Harvey McMahon, head coach of the West Fargo Horace Hawks. Crazy to think already third full varsity season here, and the Hawks are up to number 2 in the latest football poll in Division AA as well. Harvey, first things first, how's the first month and plus change of the season from game action to when you started way back in August when it came to fall camp, so to speak, to where we are now turning the page over to October? Just kind of what has this standpoint meant to the year? 4-1 on the season, where your offense is kind of playing complementary football to your defense and vice versa when you look at the stats.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've definitely come a long way since August, and I still think we have a long way to go. And complementary is probably an appropriate word for that, but we're still trying to figure things out on both sides of the football, and then including special teams as well. There's things we want to do better at there. So we've definitely come a long way since August, and you're in that halfway point roughly of the football season, and so now it's just continuing to build on what we've already done.
What's a trait or characteristic that best describes this year version of Horace Hawks football here, Harvey?
I'd say hungry. These guys are coming in and they're hungry to win. And now that they've had a taste for it, I mean, it's good for them to continue to chase and search for those next things to keep them hungry. And so, so far this first half of the season, we've kind of seen some highs, we've seen some lows, and it's just been a good way for us to take things in strides, learn from them. And obviously being 4-1 and learning is easier than being 0-5. That's one thing we've kind of realized this year is, we were kind of in the same position, but we used to be 0-5 in this position.
Yeah, you mentioned that just from the growth from the first year to your second year, making it to semifinals, to this year, 5 games in, 4 wins already on the season here, Harvey. So what has the previous 2 years for guys who've been in the program now that are seniors and juniors that were maybe freshmen and sophomores to have that taste of success last year, to make a playoff run, being 1 game shy of the Dakota Bowl? How did that help in the offseason and kind of as you got ready, so to speak, for August?
Well, I think it gave those guys some experience. Our seniors and juniors are very experienced because, Ty, who is a junior, he's been playing since he was a freshman. And so they've had the varsity experience, and that carries over to the weight room, that carries over to the off season, getting kids out for track, just all those types of things, because they want to better themselves and they want to continue to try and beat themselves, and continue to just elevate the whole program.
I know there's a handful of kids that we can talk with, but just with time constraints, we'll highlight a couple of them here, Harvey. And the first one, if you're a leading sacker with 7 so far on the season with Case Nordic, what has he kind of done on the defensive line for you, kind of getting after the quarterback, but also probably just, be a menace as well in the run game when you can?
Yeah, Kaysen's, I mean, first and foremost, he is A+ kid. He is a wonderful human being. I'm just so proud of him as the person. And then that directly correlates to the football field. So he is obviously very athletic. I'd say he's probably an undersized D end. If you look him at a roster, you probably wouldn't peg him as a D end type, but his motor, his discipline, and his athleticism creates problems, and it doesn't matter how big the tackle is across from him. He just creates those problems.
And someone else to highlight kind of defensively, as you guys have only given up double digits in 1 game this year. So let's talk about the defense a little bit. And that's another one with Mason Johnson in that linebacker spot. I know all your linebackers are flying around and kind of getting after the football this season, but what has he particularly done so far in the year here, Harvey?
Yeah, and I take blame for the double score on that, because one of them was an offensive fumble for a touchdown. So really they've only let up 1, but so that one's on me. But Mason is, he's the epitome of what it means to be Horace Hawk tough. He is a tough kid. Again, he's not the biggest kid on the field, but his want to and his desire to elevate himself and those around him, it's contagious. And so I think that's where the defense especially feeds off that, because when you have a leader like Mason who is willing to put it all out on the line, everyone just files in line behind him, and then they're willing to put it all on the line too.
You got the Wahpeton Huskies coming in town coming up on Friday night. We'll have the match for you here on YourLiveEvent.com for a little Division AA football. But when you take a look at Wahpeton, Harvey, I guess just kind of what stands out there, right? 3 consecutive wins, going to Devil's Lake, getting an impressive road victory. So what kind of stands out about the Huskies coming up here later this week?
Yeah, they're unconventional on both offense and defense, so it gives you a different look. Like you said, they're on a 3-game win streak, so they're riding high. They're playing confident right now. They're always well coached down there, and so it's just one of those. It's with the AA division especially, it just is par for the course where you could win any week and you could lose any week, and this is no different. So it's our homecoming, and our boys know that, our job is to get their streak to be done with. And so it's, we got to come prepared. Otherwise, those guys are going to come in and ruin homecoming. So.
The one thing about October this year, very interesting, maybe from prior years with the QRF. This year, you go back to, 4 of the top teams from each side of the division in the East and the West will make the playoffs, kind of like what it used to be a decade, plus ago in that particular EDC WDA format when it came to football here, Harvey. So October, these are all the games that really truly matter. Not that the games in August or September didn't, because one did in terms of making it to the playoffs and trying to get there a little bit closer. So what does October football mean in general in high school, but even more so this year, where every game gets you one step closer if you win to where you want to ultimately be, which is the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, obviously with conference play now being in effect again, it just, the stakes at the table are just a little bit higher, so you just, it works out well because, my philosophy is when you get into a football season, it's a collision sport, and, usually right around this time, maybe next week, but the season starts to weigh on people, weighs on coaches, it weighs on players, it weighs. And so, I always tell the guys right around this time, like, some teams are just gonna try and coast out the rest of the way. Weather gets kind of crummy. You're banged up. You're not feeling the best physically. And, I challenge my guys to, recognize that and then challenge themselves to, okay, I'm not maybe necessarily feeling the best physically. A lot of excuses could happen with weather. It's mentally exhausting. And can you challenge yourself and continue to rise to the occasion? And so that's the exciting part about October is now that conference play is kind of lined up with that mentality. And so, I challenged the boys this week. I said, hey, I get it. The season gets to be kind of long, and, now it's, I always remind them, I said that hunger in February, whatever school you're at, those kids are always talking about how much they love football. I said, now's the time to empty the tank because you're going to have a long off season.
As you kind of take a look at this particular program, Harvey, I know I've spoken with you over the last couple of years, starting a program from ground zero, so to speak, and we've alluded to it where Cheyenne and Davies has done the same thing, locally. We're seeing Minot North now do it out west, so it's nothing new when it comes to high school football or sports in North Dakota moving the last couple of seasons. But what's the one thing that you've enjoyed most on and off the football field about Horace just getting a little bit older, getting a little bit more seasoned? Obviously, we're seeing the wins coming. You went through the gridiron, so to speak, the blender that first year being varsity and having no seniors, on the roster, then to kind of coming with more seniors and guys who've been with the program. So what's one thing you've enjoyed most, whether it's in the classroom, so to speak, on the football field, once you get done at 3:30, and you get to any activity, what's one thing you have enjoyed most for the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's been really rewarding for me. And I'd say the number one thing is getting just to know the community, and getting to know these kids, their parents, getting to know people in businesses, things like that, and just kind of getting to know the community, connecting with people. That's the whole, if you're going to be a coach and a teacher, part of that is connecting with people. And, that's probably the number one thing. I'm already getting to we had a fifth and sixth grade football game on the turf yesterday, and I'm seeing little brothers of former players. I'm seeing little brothers of players currently on varsity, and it's fun for me to work with these families. I think of Charlie Lashovsky last year, and now Ollie's playing quarterback for our ninth grade team, and so I get to see Ann and Dan, their mom and dad, and just making an impact on kids' lives. I'm really excited. I had 2 boys play in the JV game for Concordia and Jamestown that played last year, and just getting those updates and seeing them do well. It's one of those things you can't, they say it and it's kind of cliche, but the wins and losses are great, but the lasting impact is definitely something that resonates a little more.
Without question, the Horace Hawks homecoming night against the Wahpeton Huskies, 6 o'clock on Friday. We'll have it for you right here on yourliveevent.com. Harvey, thanks so much for your time. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Friday night.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
live, work, and play here in Hillsboro, North Dakota. The Hillsboro Economic Development Committee can assist you with information and support for business and housing. Experience Hillsboro. More at 104.
Joe joining us now, part of our DJ Coulter Agency post-game interviews, is the head coach here for the West Fargo Horace Hawks. That, again, is Hadley Plank. And Hadley, let's talk about someone who we mentioned in the pregame show right off the bat, your libero tonight. She had to keep a lot of things alive in that particular back row. The senior, again, Alyssa Sommerfeld. Just what did she do in her performance tonight to kind of get you guys that 4-set win against a quality opponent in West Fargo?
Yeah, I think Alyssa's passing was amazing tonight, super consistent, and there were some changes that we needed to make throughout the play and throughout the games, and she made those changes on her behalf, so that was amazing.
Able to earn this particular win, it went 4. I know there was a particular times where it felt like you guys were going to get in rhythm, then they come starting back, then vice versa. You close out the match in a 5-0 run. What did you just kind of see from your team trailing by 2 at 22-20 to eventually come back and take the last 5 points of the match?
Yeah, a big point right now in our play, whether it's practice or game, is momentum, and they can feel when they get the momentum. Now keeping is where we're struggling, but they felt the momentum, and when we play, that's when we play best. So. And
you're going from this particular point. You got Grand Forks Central coming up, then obviously the Shields invite's going to be the weekend after, and a couple matches in between. So, what do you hope to carry from this one that you saw about your team? I know you put kind of different players out there with Nora and a couple other company players out there, but what did you kind of see from your team that you gave chances from maybe a little bit deeper in the rotation? What did you kind of see from them here tonight?
Yeah, I think confidence, coming out on the court and being confident and knowing that the coaching staff has you on the court for a reason. And big key is in practice, we're pushing each other. So no one feels like they have their spot settled in. And I tell my youngins or my ones that are sitting on the bench, like, go get them, go beat them. And it creates a really positive competitive energy.
Kendall Mueller, we had her down for 8 kills, but 3 aces. You guys really got going from the service line early in the first and the second set. What did you just kind of see from Kendall's performance?
Yeah, Kendall had an awesome serve and pass game, and that's what I told them in the locker room. I'm like, if we can serve and pass, this team will be great. But yeah, if we could... She can swing. She can swing on the right side. She can swing on the outside. And I had her up against a few tough blockers tonight, and so that was a good challenge for her. But yeah, she was consistent in the backcourt.
The middles you were talking about, we saw Olivia Shook at one point get like 2-3 points in a row there in that second and third set. What did you think about the performance that they tried to keep down Ellie McIntosh? I know it's tough because she gets a lot of swings, a lot of opportunities, but what was the middles job here tonight here at Hadley, and how did you think they kind of performed against one of the better middles in the EDC?
Yeah, our middle's job was to get Ellie out of the front row, and when Ellie was out of the front row, to stay in rotation. And so that's something, once again, we executed when Ellie was out, that we executed and pushed and got on some runs.
Able to earn this win, obviously put a little separation between some of the other teams in the EDC now, 6-2. What is it that you best like about this club here in the last week or two here, Hadley, as you're kind of in those dog days, so to speak, of the volleyball season?
I think right now is sometimes coaching and in practice, some of the players, like, we feel like we're walking through mud and we feel like, we were on a high trajectory to get better, and we are still getting better, but it just feels a little bit harder right now. But we're getting to the top of the hill, which is exciting, and they don't know that. Yeah. And so, yeah, it's good. We're so close. We're so close.
You guys are right there again, 6-2. Davies wins, Shanley wins, and Cheyenne. So all the teams that are above you win tonight. But again, you found a way to win against the West Fargo Packers. Congratulations on the win. Enjoy the rest of homecoming week here at Hadley, and we'll see you down the line.
All right, thank you.
That again, Coach Plank with us here on our post-match show. Will continue after this from Horace.
Treat yourself to a great career at American Crystal Sugar Company. Team up with quality people making quality products. Full-time and year-round in a stable business. With great pay and benefits, including time off available from day one. American Crystal Sugar Company invests in you to promote your continued growth and career advancement. Grow your career doing your best work within the world's best beet sugar company. Apply online today at AmericanCrystalCareers.com.
Growers, prepare your fields and yields against the wet conditions for 2025 and beyond with a drain tile project from Chad's Excavating out of Mayville. Drain tiling will improve and increase your yields and land values for years to come. Chad's Excavating provides free, detailed estimates, and with over 40 years of combined success, they provide professional installation and service. Call Chad today to prepare for your future and any questions that you might have. That's Chad's Excavating out of Mayville, helping farmers grow.
Well, Home Crown Realty postgame report continues tonight on KRJB and YourLiveEvent.com as Ada-Borup-West earns victory tonight, improving to a record of 16-3 with a 3-1 win over Fertile-Beltrami. Home Crown Realty postgame report continues with our River's Edge Insurance Agency postgame coaches' comments. Let's talk to the head coach of Ada-Borup-West, Jenna Engel, as the Cougars earn victory, a homecoming night victory over Fertile-Beltrami. Coach, this was not an easy one. We're not expecting an easy one by any means. Your girls had to battle. Fertile-Beltrami provided a lot of great back and forth here this evening. Just get your thoughts and recapping of this one.
Well, we started out strong. I thought we passed pretty well, and offensively, I thought we kind of stuck it to them. Offensively, the first 2 sets, we were able to get, it has to start with a good pass, but the set was on point, and we had some good swings, and we can terminate when that all comes together. And then that third set, I thought Fertile-Beltrami passed a lot better. They were in system more than we were, and even when we did get a pass, I thought the setting location was it was a little too far off the net for us to get a good aggressive swing. It was more, we got to put this in play. And, they took advantage of that in that third set. And then we came back and just put up a better ball for us to hit the fourth set. And that was good to see.
There was, I thought just with things that happen during a match, and you have to, I admire volleyball players for how quick you have to get back because there's no long breaks. Football, you could sit in you had 40 seconds to sit there and kind of wallow almost too. Volleyball, you got to get right back on the horse. Set 3 was frustrating, I think, for both teams. Fertile-Beltrami was able to take advantage of opportunities, and they created opportunities too. So not taking anything away from them. There was challenges, and your girls had to rise against that. I thought I was impressed with how they reacted.
Yeah, that and the other thing with that third set, they rotated up one from their normal starting lineup.
Right.
So I didn't think it would affect us like it did. I think it was they served aggressive. We didn't pass. I didn't think that played as big of a part in that third set, and then they rotated up again that fourth set, and we came out much better passing and in system more.
It was you used the term getting to be able to terminate the kill. Too many opportunities tonight. Well, Fertile-Beltrami didn't let you do that very frequently. I mean, they were in pretty good position, I thought, most of the night.
Yeah, they were very scrappy. They have some good players that they play more than just the fall. They put some time in the off season, so they kind of know the game. They adjusted well, I thought, on our hitters, and then we also had to make some adjustments of our own, which it's kind of like a little chess game back and forth. They adjusted here, so now we need to go there, and our girls listen to the scouting report very well. And, it's one thing to listen to it, understand it, but be able to execute it on the court. Super proud of our girls for doing that tonight. Really should be.
And we sit here now as, girls come out Tuesday night, earn the victory, homecoming match in front of a great crowd, both sides, a lot of fun, energetic. You talked about it earlier this week during the homecoming coronation that you've just been really pleased with the turnout, the support that's coming out. It was evident again. Nice to see that. Your girls are going to be on the road Thursday with Mahnomen Waban, and then still have pretty good tournament coming up here with Alexandria tournament here, and that'll kind of lead towards the big finish here to October.
Yeah, and Saturday is going to be tough. I mean, and don't get me wrong, we got to prepare for Thursday, so right. Thursday first, but we did get our tournament bracket that came out for Saturday, and big schools. We're in Alexandria's pool. Alexandria is ranked in 3A.
Right.
Morris and Maple Lake. So it'll be, I think, good preparation. regardless of the wins and losses in this tournament, it will be good preparation for tournament play coming up here in the end of October.
Probably even bigger is a challenge that you've got homecoming Friday night and then volleyball in Alexandria on Saturday, which, that's not by design. That was not a choice of, I don't think, anybody. It's just the way the cookie crumbled. And girls are going to have to bring a different level of focus and involvement.
Yeah, homecoming dance till midnight Friday night. Bus leaves at 6:40 Saturday morning. But we have smart girls on our team. They, it's their homecoming. They even asked, can we go to the dance? It's like,
that's a pretty good.
What?
Well, that's pretty nice.
Of course you can go to the dance.
Right. That's nice to hear from a coach. I think at this time, right, that your kids care that much. But at the same, you've talked about that. You've talked about the competitive nature of the squad, and I don't think that should be left on them. They care.
Yeah, they do care, and yes, they're going to the dance. And they can go to the whole dance.
They can,
but go home after. Because will they be tired? Yeah, but getting up at 6:40, whether they went to bed at 10 or midnight, that's an early bus for them, and they'll, they can nap on the bus if they want,
be fine.
And they're going to be fine. And I just want them to enjoy their high school days. Yes, go to the dance, have fun at homecoming. That's what being a kid is all about.
And the challenge of the tournament is going to be there no matter what. Again, Monoman Waban Thursday, that's not lost on it. But like you say, the challenge of the tournament, whether you win or lose, it's about getting better, and that's why you play. That's why you're in that tournament.
Yes. We go there for the competition and to see some different teams. I don't want to be stuck here playing, Fertile-Beltrami 4 times a year in different tournaments and regular season games, tournament games. It's nice to get the variety and be able to make adjustments on the fly in tournament games when you don't get to really scout them as much as you would like, and see how the girls respond to what the other team's doing.
Great opportunities in front of the team. Quality win today against a very formidable opponent. Like we said before coming in, it's 1 versus 2 in the subsection today. We do know that, of course, if everything goes, you got to get there still. But Ada-Borup-West Fertile-Beltrami has been a fun tournament matchup the last few years as well. So who knows? Because there's a lot of volleyball between now and then. But at the same token, it is October 1st as we chat. So
yeah, getting
it's
closer.
Coming. Yeah, it is. It's coming quick. Jana, thanks for the time. Congrats to you and the team. Solid effort tonight. Fun to watch the girls perform, and best of luck as we move forward.
All right, thank you.
You got.
Hi, this is Jim, and along with Bernie, we're inviting R&J Broadcasting Incorporated listeners to join us on a tour of the Hawaiian Islands, February 22nd through March 3rd. The Big Island will be part of this trip while taking in the breathtaking views of Oahu, the Big Island, and Maui. Enjoy the perfect balance between scheduled activities mixed with personal leisure time. Visit holidayvacations.com, keyword RJ to learn more about this tour, or call 888-557-1020 for a free brochure.
Don't be fooled by that beat-up old cap. Its faded crown represents the tireless work of America's farmers and ranchers. Its sturdy brim, their dedication to providing our nation with a safe, affordable food source. So we'd like to tip our hat to them. Farmers Union Insurance, protecting those that protect America's food source.
Visit with Ryan Opdahl, your local Farmers Union Insurance agent in Hillsborough.
Comments, post-game coaches' comments from River's Edge Insurance Agency in Halstead. Let's visit with the head coach of Fertile-Beltrami, Carrie Soley, after this one. And Coach, tonight for you and the girls, great efforts, a fantastic match. We talked about it before the game. You knew it was going to be a good one. A battle all night, and your girls weren't able to get that fourth going to extend it, but came back from 2 down and battled and had a good third. It's just your thoughts, because it was another fun volleyball match tonight.
Yeah, it really went back and forth. There was a lot of there was a lot of long volleys, a lot of hard fought things. I thought that our block took a little, like we said, took 2 sets to get our block kind of timing down a little bit. And but in that third set, we came back and we were really clicking. I thought our passing really stepped up a little bit, and we adjusted a few things, adjusted our rotations, where we started in our rotation, had a few different blockers, passers for different hitters and things like that. And we got that win in the third. In the fourth, we were going back and forth, and looked like when we had tied it up like 8-8, it looked like we were on the way to going and things our way, but we fought hard and they fought hard, and there was a lot of great volleyball tonight, and unfortunately we came up short, but very proud of our girls to play as hard as they did.
The games, the sports always lead to lessons, and again, we learned tonight that sometimes things don't go your way, or maybe there's a controversial call or something that comes up, right? And these are all scenarios that we're all going to go through. Everybody does. So how they overcome those or how they react to those, I thought it was both teams had to do some of that tonight, and for your girls, they did not let that bring them down.
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit in our pregame talk a little bit, as far as, there's going to be times where calls are not going to go our way, or we might think it's in and it's out, or they might think it's in, out versus whatever, or touches back and forth. But we did say that we have to play our game, and we can control our side of the net, and that's what we need to do, is just clean things up on our side, control our emotions, keep the momentum, and fight for every point as if it is game point. And I thought our girls really did a nice job of that.
They did, and you're playing now as we go into this stretch of the season. Records now 14-3. This is, I believe, just your second loss within section play. And if you looked at the rankings before tonight, it's 1 versus 2 in the East subsection. Yeah. Really been a good season for your girls, and had a 9-game win streak that got disrupted over the weekend again in the Barnesville tournament, but then you bounced right back after that loss, and the kids came out and scored and won 3 more. So playing a really good brand of volleyball. Are they playing their best at this stage?
I would like to say yes, but I don't think so. I know we have each and every match, I see improvements that we make, which is good. And, we just got to October here now, but last couple weeks of October, when we get into October here now, things really start to roll pretty fast. But I think that, we've still got some things that we need to clean up and some things that we can improve on. And I think that our defense is reading the ball better than what we were at the beginning of the season. I think our block is coming on and our hitting, things like that. And I think that our setters are doing a nice job of mixing it up. We really have a well-balanced attack out there. And, there's definitely room for improvement. And, we want to make sure that we're peaking at the right time.
I talked to somebody today that we were talking about the matchup. This is fun because you coach volleyball for a long time. 300 career wins now, Coach. That was super exciting. Very, very cool. And you've coached a lot of great players. Some of those were back to again tonight. Saw some of your former players in the crowd, which is super cool to see. Coached a lot of volleyball. When matches are talked about during the day, because we know football dominates the fall. I mean, it just does, right? But when people are talking about it in the community, they're talking about volleyball, that's a good thing.
It is. It's really fun to see. It's fun to get people to come out to the matches, and it's fun to, hear other communities and other people. And it's fun to hear the different things, and it's fun to see the girls as far as those smiles on their faces and knowing that they are playing some really tough volleyball right now, and they're playing at a really high level. And, we've really elevated that. We really, we lost a lot of big hitters last year, and we lost a lot of, each and every year we lose a lot, but yet, you gain experience and you gain that momentum and you gain your camaraderie with your girls. And I thought this summer the girls started to really kind of mesh and gel a little bit, and I think they're continuing to do that. And we got a great coaching staff that all works together, and our girls, they put forth that effort each and every day in practice. And we just continue to work and work and work, and we tell them our ultimate goal is the playing in November.
Yeah, there you go. And we just flipped the calendar, like you say. It's October 1st as we talk here on a Tuesday night. The comment I talked to somebody was, okay, so who's the standouts on Fertile-Beltrami's roster? And I said, well, they got about 6 gals that play pretty darn good volleyball. And as a coach, I mean, you could have one that stands out, right? And a lot of teams do. You could look further north in the section, and there's a couple that really stand out as individuals. Yep. Having a team, having a full unit that's you got to watch everybody. That has to mean something as a coach.
Yeah, absolutely. And I talked the other day about the versatility of these girls. Sometimes we got Madison playing left. We got her setting in a rotation. We've got her. She can go middle. She can go right. Reese can go any position. All of our hitters in the front row can go any position. They can mix it around. Our setters. I mean, Bailey was swinging a pretty nice hit out there on the outside and even on the right side too. And so it's really fun to be able to have those girls and that versatility to be able to say, it's not just key focus on a couple girls or focus on this player, make your run when they're in the back row. It's nice to be able to really have all those key weapons.
So you've got Lake Park Audubon on Thursday, and then still another tournament left this season, don't you?
Yes, we do. We are in that Frostbite tournament, which was Goodrich Grigla, but there's some gym floor stuff going on, so now it's going to Stephen Argyle this year. So we'll have that not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday.
Okay, so still plenty of volleyball left, and a lot of fun to be had. It's been an enjoyable season. Like I said, maybe this is the first time of two that you'll meet up with Ada-Borup-West. I guess time will tell. It's been that way the last few years, but enjoyable to see your kids come on, perform again, and like you said, great fan support. That student section behind you looked pretty cool.
Pretty awesome.
No doubt.
You know, and our girls on the bench, they did a great job too. This past weekend when we were in Barnesville, I really thought that they kept the mood light, the atmosphere. They were really talking and doing their cheers there, and it kind of keeps those girls on the court fired up as well.
Well, Carrie, as always, I appreciate the time. Thanks for chatting, and thanks for coming up. I know that it's been fun to see your girls continue to improve. Good luck the rest of the way, and I'm sure we'll see you at least once or twice before tournaments.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You got it. That's Carrie Soley, head coach, Fertile-Beltrami Volleyball.
There's more at 104. Hillsborough, North Dakota has everything you need on your next road trip. Food, fuel, fun, and family-friendly activities. Stop by and fill up your tank or grab a bite to eat. Have a blast at Goose River Golf Club, the swimming pool, or one of our beautiful parks. There's even ice skating and cross-country skiing. Take in the sights or stay the night so you don't miss a thing. Experience Hillsborough and see why there's more at 104.
Sharing our heritage, sharing our future. Choosing the right bank for your financial needs can be challenging with the many choices available. Dakota Heritage Bank is pleased you're interested in knowing more about what they can do for you. The Dakota Heritage Bank community bank setting is a strong advantage they have over larger, less personal banks. Customers are more than account numbers, they are friends and neighbors. Working together, Dakota Heritage Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Senior Spotlight, a senior from the Hawley High School, Izzy Steer, joins us today for an opportunity to chat a little bit about, senior year, but also her high school career leading up to it. And Izzy, want to say thanks for joining us. I appreciate it very much. And it's been a lot of fun to watch you, whether it was in person or from afar these last number of years as you've had a really great high school career from the basketball court to the volleyball floor. And just, from that standpoint, this year started off all right, and then all of a sudden a darn knee injury got you, and it's kind of put a little of a wrench into the senior year. But I mean, talk about that a little bit. Just let's get the bummer part out of the way, right? It's no fun to be hurt, is it?
Yeah, it's not. It was a big bummer, especially because we had very high hopes for us for volleyball, but all of us still do, and I have high hopes for the team, and I'm just gonna have to support them and lead in a different way.
And it's not uncommon, right? The injuries happen. It's part of being active. So with that, it does change some things. But like you say, you've had to learn how to kind of change and transition into a different role. How's that worked for you? I mean, have you been able to make that adaptation just fine?
Yeah, I feel like it's worked nicely, especially because I can see a lot more from the sideline too, and so when the middles do need help, or like the new middle that filled in for me needs help, I'm there to help her out, tell her what she needs to do, and spots that are open, everything like that.
Absolutely. And this is, of course, what's going on now. Volleyball season, the basketball season will be coming to follow, and I would venture to guess you'll offer your involvement that way too. How important is it for you to stay connected? Because it's easy to be, okay, I'm out now, I'm moving on. But how easy is it for you to have made that decision that I'm part of this team, I'm staying connected?
It was a really simple decision for me, actually, because never would I have thought that I won't be at basketball or volleyball, even though I am injured. So I'm at practice whenever I can be, whenever I don't have PT and stuff. And for basketball, I feel like I'm still going to need to be a leader, even though I'm on the sideline. Even if that's just talking plays, helping certain players out if they need it, I'm going to be there.
When it comes to your athletics, I think of basketball number one for you, volleyball in that mix as well. But is basketball maybe a true love, or maybe just explain your sports journey a little bit?
Yeah, basketball has always been my number one and my true love, and that's it's been a lot of fun. And so I'm going to play in college, not sure where yet, but I'll figure out a place to play basketball at.
When it comes to sports, I mean, it is more than just the time that you have in your gymnasium from the high school side. You know, you're involved in outside activity too from that standpoint. So being active, I mean, where do you, or maybe just in sports, where did you get that drive from? Where do you incorporate that from when you were growing up to where you are today? Where'd you get that drive for sports and competition?
I have a very competitive family, both sides. And so my mom's side, her sister played college volleyball, and my mom and dad played college basketball. So really, it's just always been there, and I've grown up around sports and playing sports. And so eventually, I had my own drive to win and be the best I can be.
Well, and obviously, you know, being challenged in a different way now for your senior year, and like you say, it's not what you can't dwell on it, right? You got to just get after it and get moving. So I'm sure there's things that you're already thinking about that you can continue to better yourself, even though you're not active on the floor with your teammates.
Yep, there's a lot of things I've been thinking about.
Which is great. So let's talk a little bit about your future too. You know, you mentioned that you want to play college basketball, or you know, so you've got some options, got some things to look at. Going into that decision, what are some of the things that you'll factor in when you make that decision? What are some of the things you'd like to achieve at college? Maybe where do you go? Things of that nature.
I'd like to make sure it's a team that knows, like, even though I am going through this injury, I'm going to come back as strong as I can, and hopefully better than I was before. And so I do want to play right away, and yeah, maybe move up if I decide that like the level I'm at isn't where I want to be next year.
Absolutely. So do you envision closer to home, or do you think you're going to be traveling further away, just depending on the opportunity?
I think travel for sure. Right now I have a school in Wisconsin that I'm looking at pretty close, and so it's 6.5 hours away, but I think it'd be fun.
Absolutely. So, you know, as far as that goes, you know, when it comes to just being involved, you're obviously heavily involved in the school, you know, whether it's activities or the academics, which is also a very big part of your life too. So you know, you have your core classes, your math, your science, your social studies, English. What of those core classes kind of has been one to drive you, or that you've been more, you know, interested in throughout your career?
Math has been pretty strong for me, and I enjoy it. And then also weirdly math and English. So
I find math is the number one that I ask students throughout their high school. Math seems to be one, and there's problem solving, right? English is one that was my favorite, but not everybody else's. So I'm glad that you have a little bit of interest in it. I don't know. I was always good at writing papers. I'm not sure about you. Is your paper writing skills up there?
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty good, I'd say.
That's good. That's good. No, that's wonderful. So being involved in athletics and activities, obviously a huge piece. You'd like to continue that into college, but you know, what are you thinking about as far as a major? Have you given much thought to that?
I have, and I'm pretty conflicted. I'm not sure what I want to do. Part of me feels like I should just go into the medical field because I enjoy that stuff. But also I have a strong interest in criminal justice. And so I see where that leads.
Absolutely. No, that's wonderful. Glad to hear that. You got a lot of options out there. So let's talk role models. You know, everybody's got role models in their family, seemingly, you know, and whatnot too. But who maybe at the Hawley school has been one, or maybe a couple that have kind of stood out to you as role models or keys to much of your success throughout your high school time?
Well, my sister, when she played with me and stuff, I always looked up to her because she succeeded in a lot, and school too, and everything like that. And so, yeah, she's a big one. And then there's a teacher here, her name is Allison Brenna, and she has been with me through my injuries and everything like that, and she's helped me get through. So
good options. You got a lot of good people in your court, no question about it. So obviously you're going to be continuing to deal with you know, some rehabilitation with the injury. I know I hate to keep bringing it back to it. It's a bummer from the standpoint. I know everybody talks to. It's like Izzy got hurt, you know, but it's a reality. So how can you turn this into a positive for yourself, Izzy? How do you turn this, you know, a change? You dealt with so many different things in life. You always do. It's just part of life. You get thrown curveballs. So how are you going to turn this into a positive and make an impact?
Yeah, I think sports-wise, like basketball, I will become way smarter. My IQ will grow because I will see the coach's side of it and not just the players and being on the court and running. I'll be able to like see the reason behind everything. And also physically, I believe I will get a lot stronger because of the physical therapy and the like lifting I will be doing like constantly instead of taking breaks because I have a long season.
It's gonna be a fun ride, no question about it for you, because it's different. It's all new, right? So from that standpoint, I know you'll look forward to it, and a lot of change coming for you. But it's been a lot of fun getting a chance to know you a little bit better too, from that standpoint. And you got a lot of things going for you, especially moving ahead. You look around the Heart Lakes Conference, your groups, your fellow seniors and other schools. You've got pretty entertaining now volleyball season, basketball season just around the corner, right? It's going to be very entertaining. There's going to be some good stuff for you to be a part of. I'm sure you'll miss that, but at the same time, encourage others, which is great. So I got to ask you, just, if you have some advice to share for underclassmen, someone maybe, middle school, or I don't know, someone who's saying, how do I get the most out of my time in school? What would you give them as advice, Izzy?
I would say work hard at everything you do because it will pay off in the end, especially if you do put in your 100% effort at school and at sports and with your friends, it all pays off.
Izzy Steer, senior at Hawley. She joins us here as our senior spotlight. Izzy, thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it very much. We'll look forward to seeing you. I know I thank you very much for sharing all the information with us here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Live, work, and play here in Hillsborough, North Dakota. The Hillsborough Economic Development Committee can assist you with information and support for business and housing. Experience Hillsborough. More at 104.
And right now, we're glad to be joined by Isabel Wendel. And Isabel is a senior at Carrington High School in her last year of Carrington and playing volleyball and a multi-sport athlete here. And thanks, Isabel, for joining us here. And we want to talk put a senior spotlight on Isabel and some other volleyball players for the Carrington Cardinals. So, Isabel, let's kind of talk about yourself here in the volleyball season and everything. So we want to start first off, like, what kind of inspired you to start playing volleyball?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, my source of inspiration is kind of hard because I've been playing volleyball like as long as I can remember. But if I had to pick one, I would say my oldest sister, Madison. She played volleyball throughout high school and college, and I went to all of her games, and she was just a big inspiration. She was so good, and we always got to watch her, and I had a lot of fun. So it made me want to play volleyball like her as well.
Okay, good deal. How has your game evolved since you first started playing?
Well, I guess throughout the years, you could say the game has evolved because it's became a lot more intense, a lot more competitive. You see so many teams are just much more advanced than they used to be. Even since I started in high school, the way that the game is being played has changed so much. It's just so much faster and so much more competitive.
Give us maybe a most memorable moment on the court.
Yeah, I would have to say my favorite memory was when we were in the regional championship 2 years ago with Linton. I just remember this specific moment in the fourth set. We had set point, and they had a back row attack that went out of bounds, and we were like, oh my gosh, this is real. Like, we have a chance to go to state. And we went into that game with like, everyone was super calm and like, no nerves. We were all just there to have fun and do the best we could. And I just carry that with me.
Awesome. Good deal. Can you share any challenges you've faced during your volleyball journey?
This is kind of a tough one because I guess you could say like injuries could be challenges or just whatever. And I haven't had any of that luckily yet. But I guess the main challenges that I can probably speak for my teammates too on this one is like the whole mental game. Volleyball is definitely a game of mental toughness and mental fortitude. Everyone scores on every rally. I mean, you score off of other people's mistakes. The other team scores off of your mistakes. So it's just a matter of moving on to the next point and not dwelling on the past.
You're involved in a lot of stuff, a lot of activities. How do you balance, volleyball, academics, other activities?
Yeah, I mean, volleyball and academics, it definitely takes out like a portion of your hobbies. You definitely have to put more time, and maybe it's late nights, early mornings. to get your schoolwork done just because you don't have that time after school to do it. Yeah, just, you know, having that idea, like some things that you might want to do maybe get taken away, but it's all worth it in the end.
Okay. How do you handle pressure during like big matches? Like, you know, you talked there, the Region 3 championship, you know, other matches, how do you handle the pressure?
I treat every game as the same thing. I mean, if you go into each game with the same mindset, you don't have that pressure weight on you. Like, this is a district matchup. I'm nervous. Like, obviously it's in technical terms, it's a more important game. But if we go in there like it's just every other game, we are the same amount of competitive, we need to stay aggressive, then the pressure is almost taken off if you just don't like notice it's there. So
Give us some advice you want to give younger players just starting out in volleyball.
Yeah, I would say the main thing is don't focus on one discipline of volleyball. I mean, obviously there's the passing, the setting, the hitting. There's so many components, and if you're good at all of them, you're going to have success. You're going to find more success. So just stay well-rounded and keep progressing, because you're not going to start off being amazing. It takes work. So just keep putting in the work and you'll see the progress.
So tell us future plans regarding volleyball after high school.
Yeah, so I've been in contact with the University of Jamestown's head volleyball coach, and I went on a visit there earlier this week, and I'm pretty certain that's where I'm going to for my academic career as well as my athletic career in volleyball.
Where older sis went, right?
Yeah, one of them was an alumni there, played volleyball, and one of them's playing there now. So
Yep. Okay, so yeah, all three of them going. So
yeah.
Okay, Isabel, one more question before I let you go. What do you love most about volleyball?
Yeah, volleyball is such a team-centered sport. I mean, you do not find success if you focus on yourself. You have to play well together to be a good team. And that's what I love the most. You just find those connections and you find the energy. And it's just so much fun when you can complete something with others around you, with other support.
Awesome. Very well said. Thank you so much, Isabel. And
thank
good luck
you.
the rest of the season for volleyball and future Carrington activities too.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.